Ever step into someone's home and instantly feel at ease, not because it's spotless, but because it smells right? That quiet scent of comfort, like a warm morning breeze or fresh sheets in sunlight. It's not luck. And it's definitely not from store-bought sprays that vanish in 5 minutes. It's something most people over 60 haven't been told. Your home's scent doesn't come from what you clean, it comes from how you clean. You might be vacuuming, mopping, scrubbing your kitchen and still wondering, why does it feel stuffy in here? The truth is, as we age, our homes change too. Windows stay shut longer. Fabrics hold on to memories, both good and bad. And suddenly, no matter what we do, things start to smell a little tired. That's exactly where 73-year-old Inez Blakely found herself. A retired piano teacher with arthritis in both knees, she loved her little house, but hated how it lingered with last week's dinner, yesterday's rain, or just plain nothingness. No candles. No fancy sprays. No overwhelming scents. What she discovered instead were 10 simple shifts, quiet tricks, many free, that brought her home back to life. And today, we're walking you through every one of them. So go ahead, tap like, hit subscribe, and get ready to breathe easier every single day. Meet Inez Blakely, a name her neighbors say with warmth, like the sound of an old song you haven't heard in years. She's 73, soft-spoken, and still plays the piano on Sundays. Not for anyone else, just for herself. She spent most of her life teaching music to children in small-town North Carolina. These days, she lives alone in a cozy 2-bedroom cottage tucked under the maple trees outside Asheville. The kind of house that creaks a little when it rains, and smells like old books and cinnamon on a good day. But it wasn't always that way. After her husband passed 6 years ago, the house didn't just feel empty, it smelled empty. The warmth was gone. The kitchen that once filled with roast chicken and stories now echoed with silence and a faint mustiness she couldn't quite place. She scrubbed, washed the curtains, mopped the floors. Still, something felt off. Like the air had gone stale, or stuck in a season that never changed. It bothered her more than she admitted. Not because she cared what others thought, she didn't get many visitors anyway, but because she could feel it. The way the hallway felt heavy in the morning. The way the guest room always smelled like closed drawers. That quiet, nagging sense that her home had started aging faster than she had. Then one day, while flipping through a gardening magazine, she read a small tip about simmering herbs on the stove to clear kitchen odors. That tiny tip planted a bigger idea. She started experimenting, not with chemicals or gadgets, but with simple changes. A towel here. A spritz there. A window opened for no reason other than to feel something new. It became a ritual. Something to look forward to. And without even realizing it, her home began to feel different again, alive, somehow. What Inez discovered wasn't magic. It wasn't even difficult. It was just intentional. Thoughtful. And now, she swears by 10 small tricks that brought scent, energy, and calm back into every corner of her space. And once you try them, you'll understand why her granddaughter now says, Grandma's house doesn't just smell clean. It smells like her. Trick 1. Let your house breathe first. The first thing Inez does every single morning, before coffee, before combing her hair, even before feeding the cat, is walk over to her living room window and push it open just a crack. Then she moves to the kitchen and opens another one. No matter the season. Sometimes it's cold enough to see her breath in the air. Sometimes it's damp or windy. But still, those windows open. She doesn't call it airing out. She calls it air renewal. It's like pressing reset on the whole house, she says. See, over time, the air inside your home becomes tired. It holds on to last night's spaghetti sauce. Lingering perfume. Old upholstery. Even invisible dust from heating ducts and fabric fibers. It all just hangs there, floating like yesterday's thoughts. And most seniors, especially those who keep windows closed for comfort or safety, never realize just how heavy the air gets. Inez noticed that when her home smelled stale, her mood often did too. She'd feel sluggish, like she was breathing the same day over and over. But when she started her morning by letting in fresh outdoor air, something changed. Even 5 minutes with the windows cracked made the whole house feel lighter, crisper, almost like a deep sigh had passed through the rooms. And yes, science backs her up. According to air quality researchers, indoor air can be up to 5 times more polluted than the air outside. Why? Because homes trap everything: cooking fumes, cleaning products, pet dander, and even toxins from furniture and carpets. Without ventilation, it just circulates endlessly. You don't need to swing open every door or let in a draft. Just a few minutes with 2 windows open on opposite sides of the house can create a natural cross breeze. It gently pulls the heavy air out and invites freshness in. Inez says it's not just about smell, it's about energy. When the air feels new, she told us, "I feel new." So here's the question. Have you tried letting your home breathe lately? Even for just a few minutes? Drop a comment and tell us what you noticed. Your answer might inspire someone else to try it tomorrow morning. Trick 2. The hidden oil towel. This little secret started by accident. One winter morning, Inez spilled a few drops of lavender oil onto a clean washcloth she had draped over a chair near the heater. She didn't think much of it, just wiped her hands and went on with her day. But within minutes, the room started to change. The scent wasn't overwhelming. It didn't announce itself like one of those artificial plugins. Instead, it drifted through the space, subtle, calming. Like a breeze passing through a lavender field somewhere far away. Since then, Inez has never gone a week without using what she now calls her hidden oil towel. She folds a soft washcloth, nothing fancy, and tucks it discreetly behind her living room heater. A few drops of eucalyptus and lavender oil on the inside fold is all it takes. The warmth from the heater activates the oils slowly, diffusing them throughout the room without a single plug, flame, or device. The genius is in its simplicity. There's no noise, no cord, no fire risk, no blinking lights. Just a towel, some oil, and the natural warmth of the home. Eucalyptus helps open up the airways, perfect for seniors dealing with sinus pressure, allergies, or dry indoor air. Lavender, on the other hand, adds calm. It eases tension and creates that soft, end-of-day feeling even in the early morning hours. Unlike sprays that fade within minutes or machines that release harsh chemicals, this method feels organic. It's soft enough not to trigger headaches or irritation, yet noticeable enough to make the room feel refreshed. And here's what's special, it's a scent that moves with you. As the air warms up the space, the fragrance doesn't just hit you in the face, it greets you gently, the way nature would. Like stepping outside after a rain. Inez changes the cloth once a week. She even has different scent moods, peppermint and lemon for days when she needs energy, sandalwood and vanilla when she wants her home to feel cozy. So if you're tired of fake air fresheners that smell like cleaning aisles, try this. No batteries. No flames. Just warmth, comfort, and a whisper of the outdoors. Have you ever tried scenting your home this way, using heat instead of sprays? Share your favorite oil blends in the comments. Someone out there might just find their new favorite combo thanks to you. Trick 3. The silent soda shield. Most of us grew up knowing one thing about baking soda: it belongs in the fridge. It sits there in an open box, quietly soaking up odors from old leftovers and forgotten veggies. But Inez? She saw it differently. She realized if it works in one small space, why not everywhere else? She started with a single ramekin, just a pinch of baking soda in a dish tucked underneath her reading chair. No lid. No labels. Just out of sight and doing its job. A few days later, she added another one beneath the shoe rack by the front door. Then another behind a framed photo near her dog's bed. Soon, her house had a quiet army of what she calls her silent soda shields. They don't hum, beep, or need to be plugged in. They just exist, soaking up invisible smells like a sponge in slow motion. And that's the beauty of it. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is naturally absorbent. It neutralizes acidic odors, not just masks them, and pulls them right out of the air. Think of it like a filter that never needs batteries. The trick is knowing where to put it. Inez skips the obvious places. Instead, she hides small containers in the forgotten corners, the ones we rarely think about but where smells tend to collect. Behind the TV stand, under the hallway bench, even inside an old teacup near her closet door. Each spot is carefully chosen. Not just for function, but for peace of mind. She doesn't want her home to smell like perfume or bleach. She wants it to smell like nothing, which, for her, is the best kind of clean. And the best part? It costs pennies. No aerosols. No synthetic chemicals. No maintenance. Just replace the baking soda every 30 days or so, and that's it. Inez says, it's like putting little noses around the house that do the sniffing for you. So here's your challenge. Pick 3 quiet spots in your home, under a chair, behind a curtain, near the shoes, and place a small, open dish of baking soda there. Don't tell anyone. Just wait and notice. After a few days, you might not smell anything at all, and that's exactly the point. Have you ever used baking soda outside the kitchen? Let us know your clever hiding spots. Your tip might just become someone else's favorite trick. Trick 4. A sweet lemon by the toilet. Bathrooms are one of the most overlooked spaces when it comes to scent. Most people either go overboard with sprays that choke the air or light candles that don't actually last. But Inez? She found something so simple and clever, you'd think it came from a cleaning commercial, except it didn't. It came from frustration. She hated the way her bathroom smelled after a deep clean. Too sharp, too chemical, too artificial. It didn't feel fresh. So she asked herself, what's something that already smells clean, but doesn't shout about it? The answer? Lemon dish soap. Every week, Inez pours just a tablespoon of lemon-scented dish soap directly into the base of her toilet brush holder. Not on the brush itself, just in the holder, where the water usually gathers and turns cloudy. That little splash of citrus turns an often overlooked spot into a quiet source of freshness. Now, every time she swishes the toilet, something magical happens. The brush gets gently cleaned, the soap breaks down buildup, and the bathroom smells like lemon zest, soft, clean, and naturally bright. Not fake. Not floral. Just simple. And unlike sprays that fade after a few minutes or gels that cling awkwardly to the rim, this method actually works. It lasts. It doesn't depend on a device or power. And it gives that space a light, lived-in freshness every time someone walks in. Plus, there's a bonus. It keeps the toilet brush itself from becoming a smelly mess. If you've ever leaned down and noticed that musty odor rising from the corner of the bathroom, now you know why. Inez rotates scents too. Sometimes it's orange, sometimes green apple. But lemon remains her go-to. It reminds her of her mother's soap from the 1950s, clean, crisp, and always tucked under the sink in a metal tin. So here's a question for you. What quiet trick do you use in your bathroom that actually works? Drop your favorite below, because chances are someone else is struggling with the same exact problem. And your comment might be just the trick they need. Trick 5. Curtain mist magic. Some people walk into a room and light a candle. Others spray air freshener and hope for the best. But Inez? She believes scent should be discovered, not declared. That's why her home always feels quietly welcoming, never overpowering, never artificial. Her secret? A little bottle she calls her curtain mist magic. It's homemade, no harsh chemicals, no synthetic perfumes. Just witch hazel, distilled water, and a few drops of essential oils blended in a small amber spray bottle she keeps under her kitchen sink. The base is light, the oils are personal, and the scent is never sprayed where you'd expect. See, Inez doesn't spritz the air like she's chasing something. Instead, she sprays the back of her curtains. Just a mist. Enough to settle into the fabric and linger quietly. When sunlight filters through the window and warms the fabric, that soft scent lifts, subtle, warm, almost nostalgic. She also sprays it on the inside of closet doors, behind furniture, and even beneath the cushions on her sofa. These are the spots that most people forget, but they hold onto scent like memory foam holds shape. The result? A home that doesn't reek of scent, it whispers it. The kind of smell you catch when you lean in to grab a pillow or pull open a drawer. Gentle. Personal. Inez changes her blend with the seasons. In spring, it's lemon, mint, and basil. In fall, a touch of clove and vanilla. In the evenings, she leans toward lavender and bergamot. But the recipe stays the same. Half a cup distilled water. 2 tablespoons witch hazel. 10 to 15 drops of her favorite essential oils. Shake gently before each use, and never overspray. That's her rule. She says this trick doesn't just freshen the house, it tells a quiet story. It's not about impressing guests. It's about creating a feeling she enjoys for herself. Something soft. Something grounding. So if you've ever wanted your home to smell lovely without screaming "I just cleaned," try it. Missed the forgotten corners? Let scent live in the spaces you love most. And we'd love to know, what oils would you mix into your own home spray? Share your favorite combinations below. Someone might just steal your recipe, and thank you for it. Trick 6. Lemon Simmer Surprise. When company's coming over, some folks rush to sweep the floors or fluff the couch pillows. But Inez? She reaches for a lemon and a cinnamon stick. No, she's not baking a pie. She's setting a mood, one that doesn't need a single word to feel warm and welcoming. She calls it her lemon simmer surprise. About 30 minutes before guests arrive, Inez slices 1 fresh lemon into thick rounds and tosses them into a small pot of water. Then she adds a single cinnamon stick, sometimes 2 if she's feeling festive. She places the pot on the back burner and sets it to the lowest heat. No lid. No boiling. Just a gentle, quiet warmth. Within minutes, the scent begins to drift, soft citrus brightened by the cozy spice of cinnamon. Not overpowering. Not candy sweet. Just that perfect in-between smell, like something comforting is happening in the kitchen. Visitors often walk in, take a deep breath, and smile. What are you baking?" She just grins and says, "Nothing today, just the lemon trick." What makes this work so well isn't just the smell, it's the feeling. Lemon brings brightness, a clean note that energizes the space. Cinnamon adds depth, warmth, and nostalgia. Combined, they create a scent that feels like home. Not just clean, but cared for. And here's the best part, there's no cleanup. After your guests leave, just pour the water out, rinse the pot, and that's it. No waxy residue, no lingering artificial smells, just a moment that passed gently, like a memory. Sometimes, Inez even adds a sprig of rosemary or a splash of vanilla if she wants a twist. She says every scent tells a different story. And the best stories are the ones that don't need to be explained, just felt. So the next time you're expecting guests, or even if you're just having a slow afternoon and want your home to feel like something special's happening, try it. Simmer something soft. Let the scent do the talking. Have you ever simmered your own scent on the stove? What ingredients made it feel just right? Tell us below. Your blend might inspire someone's next memory. Trick 7. Sneaker deodorizers that actually work. It started with a sniff. Inez was reaching for an old pair of canvas sneakers she hadn't worn since last spring. As she pulled them from the back of her closet, a faint whiff stopped her in her tracks, damp, musty, a little like the basement she grew up in. They didn't look dirty, but they smelled tired. And that's when she remembered a trick her mother used during storm season. She grabbed 2 mismatched socks from her laundry drawer, the kind with thinning fabric and stretched out ankles, and filled each one with uncooked rice. Then, using a funnel she made from a rolled-up envelope, she added a drop of tea tree oil into each. Not too much, just enough to give it a fresh, herbal note. She tied the socks shut with string and tucked them deep into the sneakers. By morning, the difference was incredible. The rice had quietly absorbed the moisture that had been lingering for months, and the tea tree oil had neutralized that musty odor without covering it up. Instead of smelling like something was hidden, the shoes now smelled quiet, clean, usable. Since then, Inez has made at least a dozen of these DIY sneaker deodorizers. She keeps them in boots, winter slippers, even the gardening clogs she leaves on her back porch. They last for weeks and can be recharged by sitting in the sun for an afternoon. And it's not just about the scent. It's about preserving what you have. Shoes last longer when moisture doesn't eat away at the fabric or glue. And for older adults who rotate footwear less often, preventing that buildup is key. Some days she adds a drop of peppermint oil for a cooling effect, or cedarwood for a deeper, woodsy note. But tea tree remains her staple, fresh, crisp, and naturally antibacterial. So if your shoes have been hiding in the back of the closet a little too long, don't toss them. Try this instead. Grab an old sock, pour in some rice, add a drop of oil, and slip it inside. Have you ever made your own deodorizer? What's your go-to trick for keeping shoes fresh? Share it in the comments. Your tip could save someone's favorite pair. Trick 8. Peppermint Vacuum Boost. Vacuuming is one of those chores that feels productive, but let's be honest, it doesn't exactly leave the house smelling fresh. In fact, sometimes it stirs up dust, pet hair, or that strange stale odor you can't quite name. Inez knew that feeling all too well. She loved the hum of her old canister vacuum, the rhythm of cleaning, but hated the lingering smell it left behind. That's when she got clever with her favorite scent, peppermint. Now, before she even plugs in the vacuum, Inez takes a small cotton ball, adds 2 drops of pure peppermint oil, and places it near the vacuum's air filter or inside the bag compartment, depending on the model. Not on the filter itself, just close enough so the airflow passes by it. The result? As she moves from room to room, the warm motor pushes out air that smells clean, sharp, and quietly refreshing. No artificial fragrances. No chemical sprays. Just the uplifting scent of peppermint riding on every breeze. She calls it her peppermint vacuum boost, and it makes the whole cleaning process feel more rewarding. Even her neighbor once stepped inside and said, "Did you just clean with candy canes?" But peppermint isn't just pleasant, it has real benefits. It helps clear the sinuses, boosts focus, and gives a little energy lift. Perfect for those of us who tire easily while tidying up. Inez says it makes her feel like the house is breathing again, one swish at a time. And here's the beauty of it. The cotton ball trick works in almost any vacuum, even cordless or upright models. You can swap in lavender for a calming scent, lemon for brightness, or even eucalyptus if your sinuses need a little help. Just one tiny detail turns an ordinary task into a small ritual, something that feels less like work and more like care. So here's our question for you. Have you ever added scent to your vacuum? If so, what oils or methods worked best for you? Drop your ideas in the comments. Your go-to blend might just become someone else's new favorite way to clean. Trick 9. Closet Coffee Comforters. Closets are sneaky. They may look tidy on the outside, but inside? That's where smells like to settle, slowly, quietly, and stubbornly. Inez knew the moment she opened her hall closet one rainy afternoon and was met with that familiar musty odor. Not overpowering, but enough to make her wrinkle her nose. It wasn't mold. It wasn't dirt. It was just the smell of clothes that had waited too long. Rather than reach for a spray or a cedar block, Inez turned to 2 of her favorite things, coffee and vanilla. She took a clean sock, an old one with no match, poured in a few tablespoons of dry, unused coffee grounds, added 2 drops of vanilla extract, tied it off with twine, and tucked it behind her winter coats. The effect? Magical. Now, when she opens the closet, it doesn't smell like mothballs or fabric softener, it smells like the start of a cozy morning. That soft rose scent, grounded and earthy, with a whisper of sweetness. It's subtle, calming, real. The coffee grounds absorb unwanted moisture and odors, acting like a natural deodorizer. The vanilla doesn't overpower, it blends, softens, rounds out the scent until it feels less like a closet and more like the corner of a favorite cafe. And it lasts. Unlike dryer sheets, which fade after a week, or artificial sachets that turn sour over time, the coffee vanilla blend holds steady for weeks. Inez refreshes hers once a month, sometimes swapping in a pinch of cinnamon or a shaving of nutmeg depending on the season. In summer, she adds a hint of orange peel. In winter, a drop of clove. But the heart of it always stays the same, coffee plus vanilla plus warmth. It's a reminder that freshness doesn't have to scream. It can hum quietly in the background, ready to greet you when you open the door. So if your closets have been holding on to that old sweater scent a little too long, give this a try. No chemicals. No plugins. Just pantry items and a forgotten sock. And we'd love to know, what's your secret for keeping closets fresh? Do you use sachets, oils, or something totally unexpected? Share it below. You might just inspire a new kind of comfort in someone else's home. Trick 10. Pillow mist for peaceful sleep. For Inez, the end of the day isn't marked by a clock, it's marked by a ritual. One soft breath, one soft scent, and a return to something both deeply personal and profoundly simple. Every night, just before turning out the light, she reaches for her little amber spray bottle on the nightstand. Inside is her version of peace in a bottle, a gentle blend of distilled water, witch hazel, a few drops of lavender and bergamot, and one quiet drop of chamomile oil. She shakes it gently, then gives her pillow 2 light mists. Not a soak. Not a blast. Just a whisper. It's not about making the pillow smell good. It's about signaling to the body and the heart that the day is done. That the world can pause. That she's safe. For Inez, that scent doesn't just help her sleep, it transports her. She remembers being 6 years old, curled up in her grandmother's spare bedroom on summer visits. Her grandmother would tuck in the sheets with practiced hands, then quietly slip a sprig of fresh mint or rosemary beneath the pillow. "So your dreams are sweet," she'd say. It was a small gesture, but it made the whole room feel sacred. That's what this pillow mist has become for Inez, a modern version of an old act of love. And the chamomile? It's the anchor. Known for its calming properties, chamomile doesn't just relax the body, it tells the nervous system to soften, to breathe. It blends with lavender to calm the mind and bergamot to soothe the spirit. Inez says the scent is soft enough to disappear as she drifts off, but strong enough to be there, just barely, when she turns her head in the night. She makes a fresh batch every few weeks. Sometimes she changes the blend, adding a hint of vanilla in winter, or switching to clary sage if she's had a stressful day. But the drop of chamomile stays. Always. So if your sleep has been shallow, restless, or interrupted by a racing mind, try this quiet trick. It's not just about sleeping, it's about welcoming sleep. And now we'd love to hear from you. Do you use any bedtime scents or rituals to help you wind down? Share your favorite nighttime practices in the comments, because you never know who else might need a better night's rest tonight. Inez didn't just freshen her home, she softened it. She didn't aim for showroom perfection or artificial sparkle. She wanted something real. Something warm. And that's exactly what she created. Now, when you walk through her front door, you're not hit with bleach or floral sprays. You're met with a feeling, one that rises gently from the curtains, settles in the corners, and hums softly from under the couch cushions. Every room tells its own quiet story. A bit of lemon here. A trace of peppermint there. Her hallway smells like she just opened the window, even when she hasn't. And her bedroom? It cradles her to sleep with the comfort of chamomile and old memories. One afternoon, her daughter came over with groceries and paused halfway into the living room. She set the bags down and said, "Mom, it smells like love lives here." Inez didn't say anything. She didn't have to. Because that's exactly what she'd been hoping for, not a house that looked perfect, but a home that felt alive. And maybe that's what we're really after as we get older, not a spotless home, but a space that breathes with us. A home that smells like we're still dreaming, still laughing, still living within its walls. These 10 simple tricks didn't cost Inez much. No fancy gadgets. No subscriptions. Just intention. A few mindful minutes each day. And now, her home smells like a life well lived, not covered up, but revealed in the smallest details. So, which of these fresh scent habits are you going to try first? Or maybe you've got your own secret that's kept your home smelling just right. If so, don't keep it to yourself. Share it in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else fall back in love with their space. If this gave you an idea, made you smile, or just gave your heart a breath of fresh air, go ahead and tap that like button, send this to a friend, and subscribe for more down-to-earth wisdom from Better Aging Advice. Because we believe your home should tell the story of you. One beautiful scent at a time.